The movie begins in an eerie, unsettling silence. In front of us stands the old Gonjiam mental hospital, a place that has been shut down for decades. Rumor has it that the hospital's director once murdered all his patients and then ended his own life. To uncover the truth behind this terrifying legend, two young men enter the hospital while live streaming their exploration to thousands of viewers online. They confidently tell the camera that nothing can stop them and head deeper into the darkness toward room 402, a place no one has ever dared to open before. As they slowly push the door open, a bell suddenly rings. The camera begins to shake violently, and a horrifying face appears right in front of the lens. The stream cuts out. Both boys vanish without a trace. The public is shocked and disturbed by their disappearance, but for a popular YouTuber named Ha-Jun, this becomes the perfect opportunity. He gets a new content idea for his horror channel, Horror Times. Determined to explore the asylum himself, Ha-Jun begins researching the place. He learns that back in the 1960s, this hospital was considered one of the best medical facilities. But after an incident where nearly 50 people died mysteriously, the director disappeared, and the place was permanently shut down. Soon, disturbing stories began spreading, rumors of human experiments on patients, and claims that the Japanese army once tortured prisoners here. Ha-Jun assembles a team to investigate. The group includes 3 girls and 4 boys, one of whom is a psychic, someone who can sense paranormal presences like spirits and ghosts. She had previously helped in exorcisms at haunted places. That night, the team arrives at the asylum, carrying cameras and microphones. Nervously, they step through the rusted gate. Inside, the atmosphere is horrifying. Pitch dark, filled with broken furniture, shattered glass, and layers of dust that haven't been disturbed for years. From the moment they enter, they all feel as though someone is watching them. Ha-Jun sets up a control base outside the asylum to manage the live stream, while sending the rest of the group inside. As they begin checking the rooms, they discover an old doll lying on the floor of the laboratory. The team continues exploring, but suddenly, they are terrified when they find a dead chicken stuffed inside a locker. Meanwhile, another member outside screams, thinking he sees a floating body in the pool. When they check with a stick, it turns out to be just an empty outfit. One of the girls writes her name on a hospital wall, saying this is her first real paranormal experience. Underneath her name, she writes, "Let's live life." Moments later, the same girl begins sprinkling holy water inside the asylum to cleanse it. While another boy is explaining the situation to the audience, his connection suddenly drops. At that exact moment, the door behind him creaks open. It's the director's room, the one everyone believes belonged to the killer. Following Ha-Jun's instruction from outside, the boy steps into the room and finds an old photo of the patients, and among them stands the director himself. He also learns that after the patient murders, the army sealed off the asylum permanently. Back outside, Ha-Jun and Charlotte talk to the live stream viewers, saying that the team has locked themselves inside to experience the asylum's true horror. Each member stands in a separate room, waiting for something to happen. After a long silence, nothing occurs, so they regroup and head toward the director's office again, this time to perform a summoning ritual. They decorate the room with bells and candles, setting up everything that could attract spirits. As they begin the ritual, all the candles start flickering and dying out one by one. The bells start ringing violently on their own. Everyone panics and rushes out in terror. But soon it's revealed that the entire event was actually a prank, a setup planned by Ha-Jun's team to boost the stream's popularity. Watching from outside, Ha-Jun is thrilled as the view count skyrockets and comments flood in. However, Charlotte, the psychic, starts feeling uncomfortable. Ha-joon pressures her to fake a ghost encounter on camera to attract even more viewers. Just then, the lights in his control tent start flickering by themselves. Thinking it's a generator issue, he ignores it and focuses back on the stream. Inside, the rest of the group returns to the laboratory where they found the dead chicken earlier. But something's off. The doll they saw before has moved from its original place. Charlotte and one of the boys notice it immediately. Neither of them touched it. One of the team members points out that the doll looks exactly like one of the hospital patients from the photo in the director's room. When the excited boy tries to pick up the doll, Charlotte stops him, warning him not to touch it. Sweat begins to drip down her forehead. She can feel a dark, real presence in the room. Terrified, she runs out. When she finally regains control of herself, she rejoins the group. They decide to split into 2 teams of 4. One group will head upstairs to room 402, while the other will investigate the therapy rooms below. As the team continues exploring the asylum, they notice several large containers that look strangely like coffins, except each one has a hole on the front side. Out of curiosity, one of the boys puts his hand inside the hole and jokingly pretends that something inside just grabbed him. He screams loudly, making everyone laugh. But Charlotte, the psychic, is terrified. She warns them not to mess around with these things, but nobody listens. Following Ha-joon's instructions from outside, who is directing them via radio for the live stream, everyone begins putting their hands into different containers, pretending that something is pulling them from inside. Under pressure, Charlotte reluctantly does the same. But the moment she places her hand inside, something truly horrifying happens. Something actually grabs her hand from inside the container. She screams in pain and panic, trying to pull it back, but the grip doesn't loosen. The others rush to help, pulling her with all their strength, but whatever was inside was too powerful. Finally, the mysterious force lets go on its own. When Charlotte pulls her hand out, everyone is horrified to see deep scratch marks all over her arm, as if sharp nails had clawed into her skin. Frightened, the group runs toward the corridor. Suddenly, something unseen pulls Charlotte's scarf from behind. When she looks at the wall where she had earlier written, "Likes live life," the words have now changed to "Your death is written here." Terrified beyond belief, Charlotte realizes this is no prank. The spirits are real. Panicking, she decides to abandon them, stream and leave the asylum. Crying, she records a video message on her camera, saying this might be her final recording because she feels cursed that her life is now marked for death. Outside, Ha-joon, still unaware of what's truly happening, orders his assistants to go back inside and tell the team that they'll be paid even more if they keep streaming. Before the assistants can reach them, Charlotte and the others escaped the building, but as they run outside, they get trapped in the bushes, unable to find a way out. The path that should lead back to the gate seems to have vanished, as if the place itself doesn't want to let them go. Meanwhile, the 2 crew members who were responsible for setting up the fake paranormal tricks now face the real horror. Inside the storage room, they see a wheelchair moving on its own. Before they can react, something invisible attacks them, and the entire event is caught on their camera. Then, a strange object flies across the room and hits one of the boys on the head, knocking him unconscious. The other one panics and tries to escape, but the door slams shut in his face. Outside, Charlotte and Jae-hoon smell something strange. The same dead chicken and chemicals they had earlier found in the lab are now appearing around them. It's as if the evil from inside is following them. Charlotte turns to speak, but suddenly feels dizzy. When she opens her eyes, her entire eyes have turned pitch black. She screams and stumbles backward toward a water tank. When she looks up, she sees Jae-hoon standing in the corner, shining his flashlight directly at the old doll they had seen earlier, only now it's lying right at his feet. Before Charlotte can say anything, a shadowy figure emerges from the darkness, grabs her, and drags her away into the black corridors. Her screams echo through the building and then fade into silence. The scene cuts to Ha-jun's assistant, who finally regains consciousness after being attacked. He wakes up and sees his teammates trying to open room 402, the most haunted part of the asylum. He runs toward them, shouting that they must not open it, that there's something truly evil inside. But they don't listen. As they force the lock open, a small ball rolls toward them. The moment the door creaks open, a loud, terrifying female scream echoes through the halls, almost bursting their eardrums. The lights flicker violently, and the entire place plunge into darkness. Their infrared cameras begin glitching, flashing rapidly, showing glimpses of figures around them. Then the signals start cutting off one by one, and finally, the live stream connection collapses completely. In the blink of an eye, the three of them find themselves standing inside a flooded room that looks like a swimming pool. The water ripples eerily, and they realize they're surrounded by countless ghostly figures watching them. Moments later, one by one, they all become possessed. Outside, Ha-jun, who has lost contact with everyone, decides to check on his team. Looking toward the asylum, he sees a shadow standing near the window. It looks exactly like himself. Horrified, he attaches a camera to a drone and sends it inside. Through the drone's footage, he sees something unbelievable: the director's body floating inside the building. The spirit suddenly moves toward the camera, and Ha-jun panics. The scene then cuts to the wheelchair again, which starts rolling by itself down the hallway and stops directly in front of room 402 before attacking one of the girls. Outside, the live stream broadcast that had been running for hours now shows nothing but static. Viewers, unable to see anything, start leaving the stream, commenting that the entire thing must have been fake. In the final post-credit scene, the camera shows the bottle of holy water that Charlotte had placed inside the asylum earlier. It's now boiling on its own, proving once and for all that the asylum is truly haunted. And with that, the movie ends.